All right, welcome one more time. The program is Mandate 2015, and this is how we do it together every day on MRTV. And so again today, like I said, we have a guest in the studio, a big one at that, former Senator Mustiu Olatunde Obanikoro. He was formerly Chairman Local Government Island Local Government and was also Lagos Island. He was also a former commissioner in the Commissioner for Home Affairs and Culture in Lagos State, and also a former senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You're welcome one more time to the studios.
Pleasure to be here with you. I don't even know which side to look at. This is a first experience.
Being sandwiched by women.
By women. But, I guess they say women are more loyal than men. I think that I'm safe here.
Oh,
you're welcome.
We hope so.
Thank you very much.
All right, yes, just before you came on, you were watching the montage we had before this, and you mentioned one word, peace. Let's dance together. Let's start off on this note. Why are politicians their own enemies? Why are they not dancing together and saying things in the same vein?
Well, let me be honest with you. If everybody would take politics the way I have taken it, I think we'll all be dancing together every day. As far as I'm concerned, it's about the people. As long as about the people, it must be healthy. This idea of do or die should not have a place in our politics. But unfortunately, that is the way some people have taken it. And it seems those are the people that are making the loudest noise. And it seems to be that those who are following them have taken it to be a way of life. I went to school in the US. I did public affairs for a bachelor's degree and public administration for my master's. I know too well, and I did internship while I was doing all this. While I was doing my bachelor's degree, I had an internship with Houston Adult Probation Department. And when I was doing my master's degree too, I also had internship experience. So I am too exposed in terms of how this game of politics should be played. And the utmost interest is the people's interest. And as long as you make that as number one, then all other things are secondary. But when you make yourself as the most important thing in a political game, then you will go to any length to ensure that your interest is protected. And that is where people like us differ from others who are risking, because you are risking people's interest when you do it at all costs.
So if you have this mindset, how are you coping with other politicians who have a different ideology about politics?
Well, I believe one thing, I take solace in the fact that it takes time for things to germinate. I take it that this is a learning curve for us as a nation in this democratic experience. This cannot continue the way it is. One would have loved a situation where we learn from the experience of the Western world and not repeat some of the mistakes they have repeated in their national lives. So, but unfortunately, we are also running into the same crisis that they ran into, despite the fact that we have the benefit of their own experience. But having said that, I can also beat my chest to say that in Lagos, I think we are a bit accommodating of each other's excesses to a reasonable extent.
Why did you say that?
I'm saying that because we still socialize together. We are still friends, despite the political differences. We still get along, in a certain way, and I can still pick my phone and call some APC, and they can still call me. And keeping that line open has helped. I can recall when Lassa people were destroying opposition's billboards and posters, and I picked up the phone and I called Bajabi Amila, Honorable Bajabi Amila, and I told him, I said, my brother, we should not encourage what Lassa is doing. Because it is evident that they are trying to give the ruling party in Lagos an advantage. And if you push people to the wall, they will react. We don't want a state of... And he picked up his phone, in fairness to him. He spoke to the Lassa people. He called me back, and I told him that, look here, though there's a law in Lagos that says certain things must be done before posters are paid by people, but that law is bad. When you make a bad law, you find it very difficult for people.
What makes the law bad? Maybe you want to take that.
Thank you. When you say people must pay X amount of money for political ad to be seen, it's like you are making it difficult for people who doesn't have money to participate in politics. And politics is about the people. If it's about the people, even a megad in your office here should have the opportunity to stand up and say, I want to represent my people. But when you make it so difficult for such a person to stand up and want to represent the people, you have automatically, by that law, you have disenfranchised them. And there is no law in a democratic setting should deliberately disenfranchise people. And that is precisely what they did with that Lassa law. What I said is, election is only once in 4 years. What stops you from saying, okay, for political advert, we will allow that. But for commercial adverts, the rate remains. Nobody will make noise over that. They have been in government over time. Who is supervising whether they are paying or they are not paying? Nobody. We don't have the means of checking the account of Lassa.
There must be some regulatory bodies. There must be some regulatory bodies doing that.
I am telling you, there is none in Lagos State. And if there is, the system has been so polarized along political lines that nobody will come out to challenge them. Because let me tell you, we have created a society where the system now, the civil service system or government agencies have become, particularly at the state level, the integral part of a political party, which should not be. But unfortunately, that is what the governors across the 36 states of our country, that's what they have done to our system.
Maybe it's the case of he who pays the piper dictates the tune.
No, you are not. It is the taxpayers that is paying the piper, not a governor or not a member of House of Assembly or a senator. No.
He's the accounting officer of the state.
And at the federal level, I must say, it's not like that. It is not like that. But at the state level, it is.
It cuts across. You have just said
all
that.
the 36 states of the federation is like the civil service, government agencies have become an integral part of political parties.
All right, let's leave that now and talk about...
At all. And that's one of the reasons why you have so much tension, because there is nobody to turn to. Right. It's just that some of us, we have crossed the line of allowing political differences to affect personal relationships.
Funny enough, this is the first time we're having a politician who is talking this way. Yeah. Every other politician comes in to say, Party B is not my friend, and Party B is witch-hunting me. It's a good thing we're hearing this from somebody who is a stakeholder.
Well, particularly for those of us who are native Lagos people, we have not allowed, I can say that with all emphasis, that we have not allowed our political differences to affect our personal relationships.
Okay, let's talk politics now. When you listen to campaigns these days, it's devoid of manifestos, which was in the past that you listen to manifestos and campaigns, you hear what Party A or candidate A has in stock and what his people are likely going to take from him when he assumes office. But these days, this is not what the case is. You find out that issues are left and personalities are being attacked. What do you think is responsible for this?
I think it's a global phenomenon. Even if you look at the best of democracies, so they will tell you that if you can't kill the message, you kill the messenger. And if you can't kill the messenger, it's a global thing. It's not unique to Nigeria.
But it's not right. What caused this development? What's responsible for this development in politics?
Well, I guess, you know, selling a politician or somebody seeking political office is like selling a product.
Yeah.
And if you have a product that you want to sell and you push it out in a way that is not conventional and people are buying it, then for you to now go back to the conventional way becomes a very difficult thing. I think that is what has happened over time. People have seen that attacking individuals has really given them an edge. And instead of now rolling back to discuss issues, but we have tried as much as possible to move away from personal attacks and emphasize what we have done, why you must support us, and what we're going to do going forward. And if you look at some of the arguments we've been pushing forward, and that is why only that because of the negatives out there, the positive messages are drowned in that negatives. But the truth of the matter is that President Jonathan has done a lot better than any elected president in the history of Nigeria in terms of advancing the progress of our great nation. And we talk about education, for instance. We in the Southwest here, what has given us an edge over the other sections of the country is the emphasis on knowledge, which was introduced by late Chief Obafemi Awolowo. And what is President, if you look at President Jonathan now, what is he doing? He's also trying to advance that. For the first time in the history of our country, we have a sitting president in 4 years. He built 12 universities, 9 in the north because of their peculiar situation, and 3 here in the south. And if I tell you today, probably a number of Nigerians doesn't know that President Jonathan has built over 500 secondary schools handed over to state governments across the country. Across the country. Of recent, about 2 weeks ago, we commissioned some in one of our riverine areas here in Lagos. Ordinarily, the state didn't put anything there. But I was a member of the federal cabinet, and when they were talking about the Millennium Goal development goals, I said, this community is lacking, and let us situate this there. So we went to Ikare, and we placed a school there. We went to Idoluwole, we did the same thing. And if you juxtapose the standard that we created there with the standard that the state put there, the difference is clear. And you can see someone who is investing heavily in knowledge, because let's face it, without knowledge we can't go anywhere. And that is why we are backward. I'm being honest with you. We are backward because we've not invested enough in knowledge. It is through creativity. This idea of getting government to create jobs will not work. It is through private initiatives, by government creating an enabling environment, that this unemployment situation can be resolved.
All right. What about the fact that we have lost our values? What part does it have to play in all this?
Well, you can't legislate values. Let's be honest. As it said, charity begins at home. I think there's a breakdown in the nuclear family values. I think if that is corrected, then we can now begin to, because let me tell you, they say corruption, they say this, they say that. These are things that most of us, if not all of us, have probably imbibed over time in our community. Not that somebody just gets to Abuja and is corrupted, or somebody comes to Alausa and is corrupted. No. When you are an elected person, or let's say a council chairman, if you are at home, instead of people coming to you to say, okay, come and do this project in my community, come and do that project in my community, they are coming to bring personal problems. I have to pay my children's school fees. I have to bury my dead. I have to pay hospital bills. It's also a failure of the system. Because if we create a system whereby some of these needs
are taken care of by government.
Exactly. We've had a situation in this country where education was free. If I had to go to a private school when I was growing up, I probably will not. I won't be educated today. That I can tell you for free. Because my mom was selling pepper on the roadside. Where is she going to get the money to send me to a private school? But some of us went to public schools, and we were able to get good, sound education, but which is not there anymore. So these are some of the reasons why some of these values that we are talking about are gone. But let me tell you, we must go back to them.
All right.
And that is why we have a lot of work to do. That is why it's painful that as we speak today, Lagos State is one of the states that voted down the autonomy for local government administration. Lagos State on its own, if you look at it realistically, is like a country which cannot be managed by one person from Alausa. The local authorities must be empowered to the extent that they can initiate programs, generate funds to execute those programs, and let the people in the community decide on who should govern them. You see, if you can get to those basics, I think our development will be accelerated, and some of these core values will gradually
return back.
Exactly.
Okay, now let's talk about the issue of PDP. It is in the news that PDP is clamoring for Chega's removal, and you are a major stakeholder in the PDP. What is your take on this?
See, let me say this. APC is desperate to win election. And that is one of those things that is eating up the polity.
Is PDP not desperate about...
We are in government. Why should we be desperate? We are not desperate.
You're not desperate about going back. So it doesn't matter if... So you know, it doesn't matter if PDP is not... doesn't win at the federal level again.
We are going to win again because we have APCs in all the states of the federation. And there is nothing to show for their stewardship.
Who says?
I am saying that.
Why are you saying that?
I am saying that because every state you mention, I will tell you why we should not trust these people.
Why, for example, let's take Lagos State, for example. Yeah. How do you say APC is not working in Lagos State?
Don't let us deviate. I'm going to come back.
Yes.
Because people may think that I'm running.
You're running away from that.
No.
Okay.
I was in Egmi last week Saturday with the president to commission one of the newly refurbished power plants there. And when we went into the community, we were interacting with the people, and they confided in us that not a single primary school in the entire Egmi, public primary school in Egmi, not one.
Public primary school?
Yes, not one. And the only private one that is there belongs to the company, Egmi Thermal Station, which is only for their staff, meant for the staff of Egmi Power Plant. So in essence, the government of Lagos State in 16 years left the people of that area alone without education.
Why would they complain to you? Why are they not complaining to the state government?
I'm a politician.
Yes.
I interacted with them.
Okay.
And I asked them pointedly, what do you need as a community? And you will not also believe that as big as the Gede is, and with Egmi and one other community, they have only one secondary school in Lagos State. After 16 years. These are some of the revelations that people like you don't know because of the huge amount they have spent on propaganda. And we have also said that it's not that there is no money in Lagos. When one person collects, in the past was collecting about 3 billion naira every month in the name of commission. And after a lot of infighting between them, they reduced it to 1,250,000,000 every month. One person collecting that as revenue commission on behalf of Lagos State. That is depriving thousands of Lagosians some of these basic things that we're talking about.
Okay, now back to the question.
Why should we even believe that the ruling party can do better?
Can do better,
no, wait,
exactly.
No, the ruling party at the center. I will tell you why you should believe we can do better.
Why?
Okay, but before we go to that,
still come back to
we'll come back to the answer this. No, we know. We will come back to the gas issue.
Now,
yes.
We can do better because let me tell you, we have presented Jimmy Agbaje, who is a private sector person. His orientation is at variance with what Ambode, where Ambode is coming from. Now, Ambode started from the local government. It is on record that the most corrupt level of government in Nigeria is the local government.
But it doesn't matter because you understand. Okay.
A product of corruption cannot be anything but corruption. Now, what I'm saying,
sorry, let me come in at this point. You just said that, you just analyzed that corruption started from the homes.
No, I didn't say that.
You said that.
God bless you.
Yeah, it could be intertwined. It could be intertwined. It could be intertwined.
I didn't say that.
It could be intertwined.
I don't want to wake up tomorrow and have a headline.
No.
Obanikoro says.
No, you would. No, what I'm just trying to say in essence is that some values that are lost from the home.
I am not corrupt by any standard. And if you want to measure corruption, there are ways
to measure.
You can measure it.
Right.
When you start seeing somebody doing things that ordinarily their means of livelihood cannot afford,
right,
then you know something is wrong somewhere. It's just when our parents say that which means that your son or daughter is not a dry cleaner,
living beyond his means,
and he brings clothes in every day, and you are not asking questions. So that is precisely what I'm saying. Because somebody has stayed in public service for a long time does not give the person an edge over somebody who's coming from a private sector. You must also investigate that experience. Is it a productive experience? If it is not a product, as far as I'm concerned, it's not a productive experience. Because if someone at a very early age, I'm older than him, says he has retired from service, and some people are saying he did not retire, that he was fired, he should be investigated by the people. The truth of the matter, whether he was fired or he actually resigned, and if he resigned, why did you resign? And since he resigned, what has he been doing?
You are deviating from the question.
I'm not deviating. I am telling you why Jimmy Agbaje is a better candidate. That's what I'm trying to. I'm leading you up to that.
Building for time factor. Okay.
Okay. Well, I don't
have
all the
30 minutes.
I am saying that Jimmy is coming from a private sector experience, and I want to tell you that someone coming from a private sector experience for the purpose of what we have had in Lagos in the last 16 years is needed to usher in a new lease of life completely for Lagos State. Okay. And somebody bringing in fresh ideas.
Okay. All right. Now go back to the
create
question.
New opportunities for our state.
Okay, so tell us again why PDP, you think PDP will do better than APC?
I have told you we have presented a better candidate.
Okay,
and with a better candidate, you get a better result.
Okay.
And I also want to tell you that if you look at what President Jonathan has done in the last 5 years, growing our democracy, you see the freedom that we enjoy today, that we can sit anywhere, say whatever we like without any harassment or any fear. You must give the man a credit for creating enabling environment for people
to hear their views.
Exactly. Okay. Because you see, that is very key to a democracy.
Right.
And we take these things for granted as if we don't have a past where political killings was the order
of the day.
Now, in addition to that, is the fact that President Jonathan has created the largest economy in the entire Africa.
How?
Beyond that, we are the #1 economy in Africa today. And he has created
that has always been.
By no. We were #2 behind South Africa for some time, and we were #3 at some point.
Number two?
Now, we were #2, we were #3, but now we are #1. Somebody made that possible. And beyond that is the agri sector of our economy, which he has given serious attention to. And that is why we are not feeling the impact of serious economic recession going on across the globe.
Okay, now let's go back to the issue of DECA. I don't want us to forget the issue of DECA.
I won't forget. For the first time in the history of Nigeria, we are exporting cement now. I am old enough to tell you that when I was growing up, there was issue of cement congestion at the port. in Nigeria, when there was serious scarcity of cement in this country, and we were facing a lot of difficulties getting construction work done. And after that, even up till President Jonathan became president, we were still importing cement.
All right,
so it made that possible.
Let's take the Jega issue before we go for the break.
You want to take the Jega issue?
Yes, this Jega issue. Take that before we go for the break.
President Jonathan, to be honest with you, I would have fired Jega a long time ago. And I'll tell you why. Jega is being dishonest with Nigerians.
How?
God bless you. Just few days to the postponed election, he told the whole world that he was ready for the election, whereas he was not ready. Now, we live in a very complex, diverse, highly sensitive country. You gave all the states in the north, minimally, the least distributed there was about 70%. Even Bonu, where there's a lot of dislocation and a war is going on there now, let's be honest with ourselves, they have collected close to 90%. While Lagos and Ogun, Lagos was around 38%, just close to the eve of that election, while Ogun also was about 40 or 42%. And how can you, in good conscience, go for an election when 62% of the voting population in Lagos is disenfranchised? When in Ogun, almost 60% is disenfranchised. You go to the South, you have the same difficulties there. Now, this James Jega wants to rush into an election. And I'm not also telling you now, today, Jega has agreed to test run the card readers.
The card readers.
I mean, if we've had the election, do you know the kind of crisis this man would have created for us as a nation? How can you turn the entire country of 170 million people with over 150,000 polling units into a guinea pig? But that's what Jega will have done last Saturday. We thank God that some people saw reasons why these things should not be, and they were bold enough to advance those reasons, and we were able to overcome.
So does it mean
to believe that it was actually the security chiefs
and not PDP,
and not
the federal government rather?
That is what I'm saying. I said some people. I didn't qualify who.
The people.
I said some people. I didn't.
So now, would it be right then to say that PDP is clamoring now for Jega's removal?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
Obanikoro is saying yes to that, but the PDP as a party has not said that.
Okay.
APC is only playing politics with that. But let us also look at this. Last election, we had close to 120,000 polling units. Jega all of a sudden woke up and said he was introducing additional 30,000 polling units, 22,000 in the north, 8,000 in the south. Everybody condemned it. Some people went to court to stop it. If I put it to you today that Jega has injected that 30,000 through the back door into the same polling centers that we have in the country today, that is a recipe for crisis. Why is the man hell-bent on creating crisis in this country?
Okay,
and that's my worry. That's my worry. You may think Obanikoro has come again, but look at some of these things carefully. They are recipe for crisis. And as a nation, as I've said, we are too diverse and too sensitive to so many issues that we don't need somebody to add fuel into a burning fire.
Okay, well, at this point we'll have a break on Monday 2015, and after the break we'll continue the program. Please stay with us.
Let us come together as one. Nigeria is our motherland, the place where three rivers meet. The people shall be great. We are destined to be great. So, we must put tribalism, religion, and hatred aside. We must unite in peace, protecting each other from the heat. My name is Peace, but you can call me Nigeria. Vote wisely, Nigeria.
This message is sponsored by MITV.
The planned deployment of military in election.
Nigerians, don't compromise your destiny. Don't let anyone treat you like you are blind. Your vote is your power. Vote wisely, Nigeria.
You're welcome back. The program is still Mandate 2015, and we still have Senator Musiliu Olatunde Obanikoro here with us in the studio, and I believe that Nigerians are actually having a field day on Mandate 2015. Thank you, sir, for joining us again.
Pleasure to be with you.
All right, so we have insinuations that PDP is still sort of trying to postpone the elections. That's what we are hearing. How true is this?
Let me tell you, the only person from my reading of the situation who is trying to mess up the election is Jega. And I am being honest with you. All it takes, detach politics from all these things. Just look at it carefully. I just told you now what an average Nigerian doesn't know today. He tried to inject 30,000 polling units through the front door. People fought it. We thought it was behind us. Now I'm telling you today, when they release the total number of voting polling units in the country today is 150,000. He has, despite the noise, the uproar that followed his announcement on that, and the decision of INEC to step it down, Jega has injected that into it. How do you explain placing 22,000 polling extra units in the north and 8,000
in the south?
But don't you think if he's suspended now or sacked or whatever,
well,
it will affect the elections adversely?
I am not saying. I said if I were, I am not President Jonathan. If I were to be President Jonathan, I would have sacked him longest time. Because let me tell you, don't forget that it is this James Jega. We were already voting on an election day, and around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, he cancelled the entire election in 2011. So he has history of not living up to expectations.
All right.
With somebody with that kind of baggage, you cannot entrust an election that is as sensitive as this to him. You see, I am saying mine based on the way
you think it
see
is.
things.
Okay.
But the truth of the matter is that if you subject it to thorough analysis, you will come to the same conclusion.
Okay.
If I can't trust you on simple things, definitely I won't trust you with bigger things.
Okay, let's leave that and talk about all right. Again, let's go to another issue, and that's the issue of the audio clip in Ekiti that was tagged Ekiti rigging audio tape. You filed a lawsuit against Sahara Reporters, and then suddenly you say yes, Punch,
Premium Times.
Okay. And then suddenly now you dropped that, and then you
I've
said,
not dropped it.
Okay, it is alleged that you have dropped that, and that you gave a warning letter.
No way, okay. No way, Jose. I can't drop. You see, I have. This is my name. I have my kids. I have grandchildren. We have to protect it. Some people protected it. That's why we can use it now. Somebody cannot give me a name that is not mine, that I plotted rigging in Ekiti, which I did not. The truth of the matter, you listen to the tape. When the tape first came out, I didn't even recall such incident, to be honest with you. But when I spoke with Jallo,
who's Jallo?
Jallo is the Minister of Police. Well, that is Jalili Adesina. We call him Jallo.
Okay.
That's his nickname. I'm sorry. Jalili Adesina, the Minister of Police Affairs, now reminded me of that encounter. What transpired was there was a disagreement. It was actually Fayose accusing those military people of collecting money from Fayemi and that they were arresting, indiscriminately arresting his people and what have you. I want to, you see, I'm already in court with them, and I can't say much, but what I want to say on my honor as a Muslim, I have never participated in election rigging. I did not participate in election rigging in Ekiti, and I will never be a party to election rigging anywhere in the world. Don't forget, I've lost elections, I've accepted it. I lost in 2007 to Fashola. I congratulated him after the tribunal. My son won an election in Lagos. APC annulled it. We went to court. They used the judgment of they manipulated that in their favor. We did not die. We are still here. We moved on. I have history of accommodating extreme discomfort, extreme pain. I have shown that over time. So it's not, what is my stake in Ekiti that I will go there and be rigging election? What's my stake there? A state that is even not up to a local government in Lagos State.
Who says?
No, I am saying that in terms of relevance, in economic terms, and in everything. I have presided over the richest local government in Nigeria at some point. You understand what I'm saying? So I have no reason to go to Ekiti and go and participate in any rigging. If you, where you have a governor losing his word, losing his local government, he's just blaming people for all his problems. He should blame himself. What transpired there was a rejection by the people of Ekiti. And if I were him, I will accept that, go back, redeem myself, and restructure myself in a manner that will make me acceptable to the people. He's a young man. We are older than him. All right. So in essence, you're saying that you have not withdrawn the charges against them. I have one here in Nigeria, and I have one in America. Okay. I did the one in America to teach Sahara Reporter a lesson. Let me be honest with you. The one here may drag till eternity, but they cannot drag the one in New York. They will get to the root of it. Even as I speak to you today, that tape was also manipulated. All that we will prove scientifically in America. So let us hear the full tape. You will see who went there to rig and who didn't go there to rig.
Well, sir, maybe lastly on the interview, can you tell us some of the reasons why politicians, well, you say you are from a different, maybe species of politicians we have now.
That's correct.
But why have they made politics a profession?
Well, let me tell you, it is not, when you say a profession, I think you are misplacing it. When we started our democracy, you can be talking like this and get away with it. Politics is a serious business on its own. You want to manage the lives of people who are late, people who are living, people who are yet unborn. It's a serious business. So don't let us trivialize it and say, why are they making it? It must be a business. In fact, it's a serious business. If I'm going to be managing your life and I am not prepared to manage it, then why do we have problem in the north? It is the mismanagement of human resources that has led to that over the years. The Boko Haram did not happen in 2000. It's not something that happened in 1980. It's something that has been living with them there. Neglect. Where people were supposed to have been educated, they were not educated. Why does it have to take a Jonathan to build 138 Almajiri schools? We've been having government in this country since 1950s. Nobody saw it necessary to create that kind of facility to accommodate those who, you can say, are more or less of a classroom. Why does it have to take a Jonathan to see that these people must also be accommodated and be brought in the to the mainstream of the society? Okay. So these are some of the neglect that has gone in the system. So please don't join the league of those who are saying politicians are making politics. It is a business, and if you see any politician that is not taking it as a business, then don't vote for that person. You don't need a part-time politician. You need someone who will make your life as important as his own life. But that is what politics is all about.
Okay, now lastly, why in the last couple of days it's discovered that Nigeria seems to be the armed forces seems to be winning the war against insurgency. Now it is in public domain that maybe Jonathan intentionally left it till now. He wanted to make it. He wanted to score a major point with it. Is one of his game plans to be voted for again. Why is it now that the extension were extended, the elections were extended, that we seem to be having it roots?
To debunk the claims that you have made, I will just cite 2 or 3 things. One, don't forget that initially we were more or less looking at America, British, or let me say the Western world for equipment. And then when all overtures failed, we turned to Russia, Ukraine, and what have you. Don't forget that. We spent too much years trying to appeal to the Western world, and they rejected us each time. And don't forget the difficulties we had in getting Chad, Cameroon, Niger to come on board. So they did not come on board until recently. Don't also forget that it took the intervention. You see, I'm trying to tell you this. I'm a good student of history. People don't, you see, you have to go back to history to appreciate today. Don't forget that it took the intervention of President of France to even bring all these Francophone speaking nations to the table to speak with our president, to agree on how they can assist us to fight this thing. I mean, why should he take France to bring Chad, Niger, Cameroon to the table to talk to us on issue of mutual interest? But that is the way we are made in this part of the world. So he did that. It was after that they even refused to be part of it. Until of recent, when Hollandis reiterated the need for those 3 nations to join in the war. And don't also forget, it was after France was attacked. I mean, not France, a shopping mall, a grocery store was attacked in France, that they probably saw the, I don't know what the intelligence information gave them, they saw the connection that if this thing is not fought worldwide, then they may run into a crisis situation. And that is why they came back, and now, I think, for the Francophone area, France is providing the air cover for the troops there. So you can see the kind of firepower and the support. And then luckily, most of the equipment that we also bought in Ukraine, in Russia.
Our APC no pan.
Let us come together as one. Nigeria is our motherland, the place where 3 rivers meet. The people shall be great. We are destined to be great. So, we must put tribalism, religion, and hatred aside. We must unite in peace, protecting each other from the heat. My name is Peace, but you can call me Nigeria. Vote wisely, Nigeria.
This message is sponsored by MITV.
Let us come
yes,
together.
We apologize for the break in transmission, which was occasioned by a cut in the public power supply system. And just before the break, the Honorable Senator was making a point. Maybe you want to wrap it up before we close today.
Yes, the equipment came in.
We're talking about the equipment.
Yeah,
yes.
just came in just about the time France demonstrated sufficient interest to
assisting us
to get the other 3 Francophone countries to be part of this
war
effort
against
to rid our country of and their own countries too of Boko Haram. So that is why it's not because, let me tell you, a number of things have been said about President Jonathan. I want to tell you, without any fear in my mind, that I am yet to see a Nigerian that is as humane and as humble as that man. There's no way President Jonathan will willingly encourage the killings of any Nigerian. What does he stand? The worst case scenario is that maybe we won't elect him again, but nobody will say Jonathan did not rule Nigeria. He's already president. Why will he want to kill his own people just to return to power? What has happened, what we have seen in the North is a failure of leadership in the North. Simplicity.
And not at the federal level.
No, it's a failure. Let me tell you, the secondary school is a function of state. The primary school is a function of local government. Between the two, they should be able to create sufficient environment for kids who are roaming the streets to go to school and be taught how to fend for themselves, teach them other things. I don't understand where people will wake up in the morning and go on the street and be begging for alms. It's not a way, it should never have been a way of life. That is why people like Buhari should not be elected. Where were they when they were running these countries? I mean, when they were running Nigeria? Why couldn't they create sufficient schools to accommodate all these kids who are roaming the street? These are the same kids who are now being used as Boko Haram agents, underage, who are being trained to kill their own people. People who are taught to be merciless in disposition. Cut people's head off, men in uniform cut their head off. It's very sad where we are today as a nation, because it was preventable.
All right.
So what's your last word to Nigerians as we get ready for
my last
the
word to Nigerians
date?
As we get set for the new election date is that it is in the best interest of our society to re-elect President Jonathan. Let's not forget that Alhaji Jakonde started a mass transit system for Lagos State. Then General Buhari cancelled it without even reflecting on the benefit that Lagos stands to get from that. General Buhari was PTF chairman for 4 years. All the agencies of government were collapsed just for him alone to operate.
Thank you very much.
And in that 4 years, there is no single legacy project in the entire southern part of Nigeria.
Thank you.
This is sufficient to deny him the opportunity to come and divide this country along regional lines.
That's
again.
all right.
We
Thank
are
you
one
very
Nigeria,
much.
and we should remain one Nigeria.
Thank you very much. For time factor, we would have continued and on and on. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Well, the program is Mandate 2015. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. And I'd like to remind you that Mandate 2015 returns again on Monday. We've been speaking with former Senator Musliu Olatunde Obanikoro, who was a former senator, and of course, apart from that, he was also a former ambassador of Nigeria to Ghana, and of course, also a former Minister of State for Defense. For time factor, we would have taken you on some defense issues, but some other time, we hope to have you. Thank you for being a part of the show this evening.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is a very rare opportunity to be sandwiched among two beautiful ladies.
Thank you very much.
I look forward to another opportunity.
Okay. All right. My name is Jumokedi, so I'll be back again on Monday. Just have a wonderful time this weekend. And from Jimmy.
And from me, have a wonderful weekend. But remember, if you have still not collected your PVC, make it mandatory that this weekend you go collect it. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.